Hey, Shalom Shalom, this is Rabbi Yoshi. I wanted to talk to you today about the upcoming parshah tsav in Leviticus chapter 6. It talks about the continual fire that burns, even on shabbos, even on Shabbat. Now, there's some interesting things about this continual fire. You know, there are many teachings concerning the continual fire, and one of the ones that I particularly adhere to is the teaching that the fire, it's kind of like the altar. The altar is the heart. And so we have an inner and an outer altar. And the outer altar, which is where the continual fire is, it's kind of like the outside. It's like what we show to people. And sometimes in your walk with Messiah that you just don't feel like you're shining that light. You just don't feel like you're burning bright enough, that you're really showing the light of Torah. And that's another reason why we must, as Natsari Jews, continue to bring the light of Torah to people, even when you don't feel like it, in season, out of season. And there are several reasons why this light can sometimes get dim or flicker or feel like you're separated. The text can be read, it can be read to say, and the continual light will put out the no or the not, because it says it's not to go out. And that not is like separation, that no is like separation. And the sages of blessed memory, peace be upon them, have taught us that we have to walk in Torah in order to keep that separation, in order to keep that coldness away. And that's why the light of Messiah, Yeshua, in your heart is very important. The Haftorah talks about Hashem rebuking them. And what he says that he is an El of mercy and righteous and kindness. And it has to do with obedience to the Torah. So the Haftorah ties really great in with the understanding that we draw our flame, our light from Hashem. And by keeping his Torah, it's the fuel for our heart, for that light in us. It's not the mundane, it's not the ritualistic walking of the Torah that I'm talking about. It's the Torah in our heart, where we are able to correctly identify and walk according to the ways of Hashem in our heart, where we're actually, walking in love towards our fellow man and towards Hashem. And so I wanted to share with you about the parshah. I know there are many great teachers out there that talk every week on the portions of the parshah. But I wanted to bring my heart and say that, remember, as you read this section, and it talks about the sacrifices and what the Levites got, and, eating the peace offering yourself, the portion that's left for you, that you remember it really centers on the continual light, and that you should turn that inward into your heart, as Messiah taught us to take the Torah and turn it inward. That our heart is that altar. We are to be that light. And there are many of us out there who are trying to be a light on our own. We're separated. We are isolated in our Natsari Judaism. And so I just want to let you know that your brothers and your sisters in Meshiac who are Natsari are also going through that same isolation and separation. And I pray one day we'll have a center where people can come from all over and meet with us. And then one day we'll be out there in Jerusalem. So focus on this week's parashah. So that when you enter into shabbos, when you enter into Shabbat, it's not like you're reading the parashah for the first time, even though that's fine if you do it that way. Get a little head start, get a little momentum going, so that when you enter into Shabbat, you read these things, and you can focus on what you need to do on Shabbat, about being in his presence and absorbing more of his presence. And sometimes in your chavana, sometimes in your davening and your shuffling, you might find yourself being, transported to higher places in Mashiach. You feel your ruach, your soul in the flesh, transcending into the heavenlies. Just remember that you're there to get a recharge, because you have to come back and you have to be a light to the lost people. That's what we're called to be. And this is an issue in Natsari Judaism that I hopefully will tackle later this week about, not just rearranging the body of Mashiach, but getting out there and doing what we're supposed to do, bringing the good news of Messiah to the Yehudi first, and then also to the Goyim, to the nations. So listen, this is Rav Yoshi. I'm wishing you peace, shalom, through this week, and saying, hey, be ready for Shabbat, because it comes quick. Shalom, shalom.